Hey everybody, it's Lo and welcome back to my channel, Love Without Limits. In this video, I'm going to share with you the top 5 herbs for hormone help. So if you want to see that, then just keep watching. A while back, I posted my first herb haul video, which was just everything that I've gotten as I'm getting into loose leaf herbs and loose leaf teas. And after that video, a few people said that I should make ones that are specific to different things that people may be trying to work on. So this will be the start of that, and it's going to be on hormone help, since that's also something that people come to my channel a lot for and people will talk to me on Instagram about. So I figured that could be my first one for these herb specific videos. But before I go into my top 5 herbs for hormone help, a lot of H's, I just want to give the disclaimer that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a practitioner. So if you do have any other medical issues or you're on any medications or just anything you are concerned about, definitely speak to your doctor. But with that being said, I will get into the first one, and it is one that I actually don't have. I need to go get some more, but it is Vitex or chaste tree berry, which is really good because it helps decrease prolactin and increase progesterone. So prolactin is a hormone that in everybody is usually pretty low. It's produced by the pituitary gland, which is one of the main endocrine glands in your brain. And if it's too high, so it does raise if you are pregnant and you are about to breastfeed, or if you just had a baby and you are breastfeeding, it helps you produce milk. But if you're not pregnant or you're a male, then it's usually pretty low. So we all have it just in super low amounts. But your pituitary gland can start to produce too much if you're stressed, if your diet isn't good, or if you are on certain medications. By having it too high, you'll just feel stressed, your PMS symptoms you'll have bad PMS symptoms. By lowering that through Vitex will also help balance out your estrogen and progesterone, which will also help to regulate your cycles, just make your PMS symptoms much better, get rid of any sensitivity here if that's something that you're dealing with, since again, prolactin has to do with this region. So by taking Vitex, again, it will lower the prolactin and it will raise the progesterone. Prolactin does get raised with certain medications. It is also something that you do need to talk to your doctor about if you are on any medications that may be causing that issue. And if you have irregular or missing periods, Vitex can also just help make that regular and bring them back. And it can also help reduce any symptoms related to fibroids, since fibroids are also common if you have higher than normal estrogen levels. So by bringing the progesterone and estrogen back into balance, then it can help reduce any fibroids and fibroid symptoms that you may be dealing with. The next one is red raspberry leaf. So the flavor for this is sweet and tart, similar to a raspberry, and it is one that you do need to be careful with and talk to your doctor about if you are pregnant, because especially later in your pregnancy, it can help bring on labor. So it could be good if you're trying to speed that up, but it's definitely something to be careful about and talk to your doctor about. But it is really good for period help. It is a nutritive, which means it has a lot of nutrients, and it's also anti-inflammatory. And because raspberry is in that citrusy antioxidant berry group, it is super high antioxidants. It's really good for immune help for absolutely anybody. But red raspberry leaf is also super high in vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 and all of the other B vitamins are super helpful for balancing your hormones. They help grab onto any excess estrogen and get it out of your body if that's something that you're dealing with, either just high estrogen in general or high estrogen in comparison to your progesterone levels. So vitamin B6, which is super high in the red raspberry leaf, as well as other nutrients and vitamins and minerals, it will help grab that and just get it out of your system. And having those two hormones just in balance altogether is just really good for regulating your cycle. If you're having fertility problems, having that in a good balance will just help out with that as well, and it will also just reduce inflammation, since higher estrogen does often tend to lead to more inflammation overall. This is also a uterine strengthener, and the vitamin B6 is also really good at helping alleviate PMS symptoms that pertain to mood. So if you have irritability or mood swings, incorporating a little bit of this, and again, it's a really good taste, will help ease that and just get rid of the moody PMS symptoms that you may be experiencing. The third one isn't necessarily an herb, but is maca. It's actually a root, but it's often sold in powder form just because that's easier to use than the root. So I get the Navitas. I like to incorporate it into my smoothies. I like to say that I have lamp smoothies, which is lion's mane, ashwagandha, maca, and protein powder. So every time I have a protein powder or a protein smoothie after the gym, I do add in a little bit of maca. But if you are new to maca, one thing to be careful about is just to add it in slowly. So like a serving is 1 teaspoon, but even just starting off with half a teaspoon, then going up to a teaspoon, and then you can do a little bit more if you want to, is important just to get your body acclimated to it, because if you go a little too hard on the maca too fast, there's a saying that too much maca will make you caca. But maca is really good for everybody, for men and women, and because it's an adaptogen, it will adapt to your specific needs. Maca is also super high in different minerals, including zinc, magnesium, and potassium. All of those are super important minerals, and it's really good for energy and adrenal support. So if you have a lot of adrenal fatigue, you're super stressed out, you're not getting great sleep, obviously you should fix your stress and fix your sleep. But if you do need a little bit of support and to just help bring you back into balance, lower your cortisol, and just get all of that in, because that is also a hormone. It's not just, you know, estrogen, progesterone, it's cortisol, and all of that are also hormones, which also do need to be in balance, because if your cortisol is just out of whack and you are experiencing adrenal fatigue and just those symptoms of burnout, then everything kind of sucks. So by adding in maca, and it will deal with your cortisol, it will raise it or lower it depending on what you need, since again it is an adaptogen. It will adapt, but you have to adapt to it. So because of that, it's super good for adrenal support and helping give you a little boost of energy, which is another reason why I love to put it in my protein smoothies. It also is really good for PMS symptoms in women, and in men can help increase vitality. Now this fourth one is especially good if you deal with super heavy or painful periods, and it is lady's mantle. So this is an earthy, bitter flavor, and because it's a bitter, it will help your stomach as well. And it has astringent properties, which means it's gonna dry everything up. So if you do have heavier periods, it will kind of just like dry, like help lighten that up and just make it not as heavy or painful. It's also a nutritive, and again, because if it's an astringent, it helps with your period and with digestion. So a little double whammy with that one. This one is also super beneficial for helping you balance out your progesterone levels, and because of that, it will help regulate your period, reduce cramps, and ease any fibroids or endometriosis that you may be dealing with. And because this one does work directly with your periods and all of that, and progesterone, it is another one to be cautious about and just to talk to your doctor about if you are pregnant. So a lot of these definitely do keep in mind and be a bit more careful if you are pregnant, but then there are other ones that are really, really good to help you if you are pregnant. But for these ones and for balancing your hormones for the average population, definitely be careful with. And the last one is motherwort. This is also a bitter and warming herb, and it actually is the opposite of lady's mantle in the case like if you already have heavy periods, stay away from motherwort on your periods. It's great for every other time because it's also super good for anxiety and calming you down and kind of like slowing your heart rate. If you have super anxious heart and your heart rate's just beating like crazy, motherwort is super good for calming you down. But if you're on your period and it's super heavy, stick with the lady's mantle. On the other hand, it's irregular or you have really bad cramps but it's not heavy, you can do motherwort because it will help you get everything moving and it will help your circulation, it will help get blood moving. So if you have cramps, that's because your body's cramping to get everything out. But if you get help, a little bit of circulation help from motherwort, then your body doesn't need to cramp as much to get everything moving because it will just do so naturally. Motherwort's really good for that, and again, it's just really good for calming down anxiety, calming down an anxious, stressed out heart. And I've also heard that motherwort is like a hug from your mother, so like that's how you can remember it. It's just a very calming, relaxing herb, and again, it has a bitter, warm flavor, so it's also really good as a bitter for your digestion. And if you aren't interested in getting certain herbs or figuring out what works best for you or making teas or tinctures or any of that, you can try out Elix. So I have an entire review video that I'll help link down below. But Elix Cycle Balance is a monthly tincture that you take the week leading up to your period, and you take a quiz. So each one is tailored specifically towards you, with using herbs that you need and using Chinese medicine, and just taking into account everything about your cycle and your life, your stress levels, your body, and putting that into a tincture that's specifically tailored for you. While I like using that and my herbs, you can also just use that. So again, I'll have that video linked down below if you want to learn more about that. And if you do want to try it out for yourself, you can use the code LOW15 to save 15% off of your first order. I've been using it for almost a year now, I want to say, and I've been absolutely loving it. So I tell all my friends about that. Like anytime somebody's like, oh, sorry, I don't want to do anything, I have cramps, I'm like, have you not tried Elix yet? While I do love some herbs, that's just another really good way to get them and to get that hormone help without really having to think about it. Well, there you have it. Those are my top 5 herbs for hormone help. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below what your favorite herbs are and what you want to see more of on my channel. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe. I upload a new video every Wednesday. So until the next one, thanks for watching.